The Wynalda section at the Merrell Trail in Rockford, Michigan got some massive updates in 2025, and so far, I haven't seen anyone else make a video like this, so here it is, a highlight of the new 2025 Wynalda Flow. I always park at the East Trailhead. This section gives you direct access to the Wynalda loops, and it saves you energy so that you don't have to bike out and back from it. The biggest change is that this section now has 3 designated downhill trails and 1 uphill return trail, whereas it used to be directional by day like the rest of the system. You start by dropping in on Wynalda Flow 1, which is fast, wide open, and has some of the biggest jumps in the entire system. When you make it to the end of Wynalda Flow 1, you are at the bottom of the new designated uphill climb. Right here, Flow Trail 1 and 3 meet, whereas Flow Trail 2 waits up just a little bit ahead. This is the trail you'll use whether you're ready to go up to the Flow 2 and 3, or if you're ready to head out of the loop and exit. This climb is pretty punchy in some sections, but overall does a pretty good job pacing out the climb so that you feel energized and ready when you make it to the top. When you're about 2/3 of the way up the climb, you hit this split. If you go to the right, that will take you to the very top of the hill, where Flow 2 and 3 start. And if you go to the left, that will take you back to the East Trailhead, where you can either drop back in on Wynalda Loop 1, leave, or hit the rest of the system. The climb on the right side is a decent workout, and it's fairly skinny and got some tight switchbacks. The return to the trailhead on the left is actually quite flowy and allows you to get back without breaking a sweat. As you can see from these 2 side-by-side videos, it took me roughly the same amount of time to do each side. If you chose the right and you made it to the top, this is where you get access to Flow 2 and Flow 3. Wynalda Flow 2 is fast, with only a handful of big jumps and lots of berms. When you make it to the end, it merges back in here with the return trail back to the top. Dropping in on Wynalda Flow 3, this is my favorite of the 3 trails. It's nice and long, it's got a whole mix of everything from rollers to tabletops to doubles to berms to drops, and overall it just has that flow. And once again, when you make it to the bottom of this trail, it puts you back on the return trail to the top. I figured I'd also highlight with this my favorite feature on each loop, starting with this big double on Wynalda Flow 1. As you can see, it is quite long. I am about 5.5 feet tall, so we're looking at a good 15-foot jump by the time you're past the knuckle. This one though is so well built, super smooth, and feels super great to get in the air. My favorite feature on Wynalda Flow 2 is this new rock double that they added this year. As you can see, I'm still trying to figure out how to properly clear this one. Coming up to it, it feels super steep, but it is super well built, and overall a great jump. Finally, on Wynalda 3, they've added this new sort of gap double right before a tabletop. But it's super smooth, and I love the way that sets you up for that tabletop afterwards. So that is it for the updated 2025 Wynalda loops. The Merrell Trail is probably my favorite trail system in the entire Grand Rapids area just because of this section here. It's super easy to loop, great for progression, and has some actually seriously good features. So if you haven't, I would highly recommend checking it out. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.